5 days with no protein on the sugar diet. What did it do? Stick around to find out. Hey y'all, this is Senior. These are my moments, and this is your weekend update. So like I said in the intro, there was 5 days last week that I did not take in any kind of protein on the sugar diet. I think I did some updates earlier in the week. So we're gonna cover Friday through Sunday. Friday was a full sugar fasting day, no starches, no protein, dropped 0.7 pounds from the day before. During that day, it was a workout day. So I did have juice with sugar in the morning. I ended up doing some more juice with sugar prior to my workout. Got my workout in, actually felt pretty good during the workout, not too bad, energy wise. Finished off, or the later on to the day, I ate some dried apricots. I think put some dates in there, some chili mango slices. I did have some pickles though, because I was craving that savory flavor, and someone made a recommendation of trying some pickles, and I had some pickles in the fridge, so tried that. That really worked to kind of curb or to fill that savory part of it. So that was good. Then I finished it off with some sorbetto in the evening. Saturday, another full sugar diet day. The intent was no protein still, and this would have been the 5th day of no protein. I did eat some starches, but that was in the form of rice cakes. So went and I was looking at some other channels. I think it was Tim Ernst. He had experimented with bringing some rice cakes in. So went to the store, got some of these lightly salted rice cakes, very low, no protein, I think, actually no fat either. Threw a little bit extra salt on there because, again, I was in the mood for this savory thing, so I did some of that. Tried some of that. I tried some with some jam. Had a few of them, and it wasn't bad. Actually, they were filling enough and to curb that kind of fill that void that I was really looking for. So those ended up pretty good. Saturday's weight, again, I'm weighing in the morning, so when I say I'm weighing in on that day, it's really the effect or the impact of the previous day or the previous days. So on that morning, on Saturday morning though, I was down another 0.9 pounds. So in those 5 days of no protein, the total weight that I dropped was 3.3 pounds. So that was pretty good. It was kind of what I expected it to be as far as the impact to the overall diet. Now, I did put in some starches during those times. I think I had a couple of days in there where I did starches. I did some rice and corn on a couple of days, or a day or so, and then I did those rice cakes not too long ago, or just the other day. Going into Sunday though, that was Father's Day, so I knew going into Sunday that I was going to eat. That was the plan. My kids were taking me out for a nice lunch, one of my favorite places, for some pizza and wings. Tried to do it within moderation, but I knew I was gonna eat yesterday. So had a few pieces, 3 pieces of a small pizza, kind of limited to that. And then end up eating about a dozen wings. Wings is one of my favorite things to eat, so I was gonna go with it that day, or yesterday. So 8 wings, 8 pizza. I had sugar fasted earlier in the day. I think I did a juice, and we'll say sugar fasted because I did a juice with sugar in the morning like I always do, but I didn't eat until we went to lunch after that. After the lunch, I ended up trying to just water fast as long as I could. Again, I did have a little bit of this kind of savory taste that I really needed. So again, I had a couple of rice cakes. I had some pickles later on in the evening, and then I think I still finished it off with some juice. So weigh-in this morning, I was up 2 pounds. But again, I knew I was gonna eat. I knew that what the impact on the scale would probably be. I kind of expected it to be a little bit higher. So I was up 2 pounds. So if you remember what I just said about the previous few days, I dropped 3.3, I gained 2, so I'm a net negative 1.3. Overall, not too bad. And I'm pretty happy with that. So it's proof enough for me on this diet about what kind of the impact of protein, or what role that protein plays. I was able to put in some starch, and I'm not going overboard on that, but I was able to put in regular rice and corn and put in these rice cakes and things like that with still being able to drop weight. And I think over that course of that time, I was dropping on an average like 0.2, maybe a quarter pound or something like that. Definitely the days that I did not eat protein the day before, the morning weight after that was much more. So I think some of those days was like 0.6, 0.7, or even 0.9, going back to Saturday's weight of, what I did on Friday. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave me? I don't know. Today is another workout day. It is my deload week. It is my deload week again. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to experiment with. This week also will mark the month mark. I think it's around Tuesday. It'll be the month of doing the sugar diet, sugar fasting. So we'll recap the entire month and figure, kind of see where we go from there. But overall, kind of long term, and I say long term, but longer than just like this week. I think that this is something that can definitely be rotated into the plan. Maybe it's sugar fasting, 3 or 4 days a week, and then regular eating on the other 4 or 3 days a week, however that gets split up. It's the ratios of the protein and carbs and of course fat that we have to kind of play with. And I think I've said it before. I think I will probably end up going with a lower fat, moderate protein, moderate carbohydrate type of diet. So I think that seems to be working the best as far as where I'm at, what I'm trying to maybe achieve. And what I'm trying to achieve, and I think responding to some people that made some comments, what is my goal? My goal overall, I think everyone's trying to lose weight. Lose weight and body comp, right? So I think I've been a little bit, losing weight is great, but I'm also been losing some strength. And I think that's a give and take. Some of that's gonna happen. So I'm trying to figure out now where I'm at in terms of that balance. I'm about 10 pounds off my goal weight. I weighed in this morning at 230. So, and that's probably the first time I've actually even said what my weight was. So I'm 230. I started the year around 260. So I'm down, 30 pounds, and as of yesterday, it was 31 something, but then I put those 2 pounds back. So my initial goal was 220. And it's still, for my size, for my frame, that's way still heavy. But I set the 220 goal because I am a strength type of lifter. I do want to maintain the strength, and I do, my body type is an endomorph. So I bulk, big round, full muscles, bulky muscles versus, lean and stuff. So I've never really been lean per se. So again, when I hit 220, that 220 mark, we'll see where I'm at, if I'm happy with body composition the way it is. And if not, then I'll just kind of continue to go further. But I still want to be, I'm still going to be hitting the gym hard. I still want to be strong. And that's, overall, I'm trying to be strong as I age. So I think maybe, that's what it is for now. That's going to do it for my update for the weekend. Let me know your thoughts. Obviously, do give me some comments, subscribe, hit the notification bell, do all those kind of YouTube-y things for the algorithm. But if you have any input, if you have any questions, drop me comments. Let me know your thoughts about the whole thing. Again, we're going to be hitting the month mark here this week, and so I'm looking fairly hard at what the plan is going to be going forward. So love to hear your input. And until the next time, I'll see you.